Oh.
Since the stream's ended.
Yeah. We're back, I think. We're trying to figure out sound issues. If there still are sound issues, then we're working on trying to figure them out. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, everything at my end.
Carry on talking.
We've got
while
no
I just
dropped
listen.
frames. FPS is maxed out.
Someone talk so I can actually test if we're sounding okay.
Hello.
Yeah, it sounds fine on my end. Race, it might be your end that we sound crackly, because on mine it sounds absolutely fine.
Absolutely gaslighting us, Race.
Do you know? Not here, and just as is.
Not here.
Doing all
He's
sorts.
making us feel like we're insane. He's probably going to start shooting questions at everyone to try and figure out some information, but not face any himself. So, yeah, we're sounding all right to my end. I nearly just banned Reese accidentally.
Imagine.
By accident.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe that.
It sounds fine on my iPad.
Yeah, it sounds fine from where I am. I think we're good.
Okay.
I think Reese needs to sort his internet out, and once he does, we can tell him that he is banned from asking any questions, because
Yes.
if he wanted to ask questions, he should have been here, not sitting there behind his keyboard.
Yeah, keyboard warrior.
So, guys, we are 5 episodes in, which feels like it's gone very quickly to me. I don't know about you lot.
It has.
Yep.
How are you all finding it so far? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? You've met everyone's characters. You've met some NPCs. You've travelled a little bit about the town. There's some people that have probably pissed you off. There's some people that you might like. What are your thoughts and feelings on all of the things that have happened so far, including talk of like cream pies constantly?
I don't think Jeremiah is very pleased.
No. About the cream pies. The thing is, though, it actually hadn't come up that much in session.
It's Reese.
It's mentioned once. It's been mentioned
Reese.
once or twice in session. The rest of the time, it's just been on our Discord chat.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put.
I just
Have we
find
got a cream pie emote? Yeah, we
we
have.
do. I just find it hilarious the fact that, like, we all made our characters completely separate from each other. We weren't talking to each other about anything, and yet somehow 3 of us ended up with professions in food.
Well, I've said this before, but I can understand Martine and Reese doing that because they're Northern and work in bakeries, and we all know that Northerners love pies.
Yeah.
And pasties, so that makes sense for them too, I think.
I think I just kind of
How are you finding?
Go
Go on.
I think when I was designing Jeremiah, I think I just kind of wanted to soften, because obviously Blood Hunter can be seen as quite a violent class.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted something to kind of soften it. It's kind of like, you know, around like the hearth, and it was all meant to be really warm and stews, and yeah, it's just meant to soften his edges a bit.
I can see that, because you're not going to be as intimidated by someone trying to beat you up with a rolling pin, are you?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice this, especially after last session, like yesterday's session, where you've spoken now about the sort of cutting himself with the end of his blade and the blood running down, but then this dichotomy of that, and then him just wanting to make everyone a nice bit of food and some pastries and a nice stew. And I like the
And like really taking
difference
care
there.
of everyone. Like he always seems
Yeah.
to. It's not just the cooking and things. It's like everything he does. It's like always very caring. Like he always wants to come and check on everyone. Like
them
when
with a
Maeve
hand.
got upset about like Jamina, he like came over with Misha and was like checking that things were okay. Like he's a very caring character.
He hasn't checked in on any of my NPCs, so that's one
He
strike.
did. He tried to save them in the first place with the
Oh, he did.
over the
No.
faces. He did try
don't
to
know
save
I
them.
have constantly tried to save the NPCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not my
Tried to get them
NPCs,
into
though, are they?
buildings, tried to get them into
random
the
people
sewers.
in
It's
the
not my
crowd in
fault
the
they don't
mist,
listen.
They're not my NPCs. I'm talking about like General Winfolf. Jeremiah, I'm getting the impression doesn't like General Winfolf.
I feel like he's going out of his way to be very obfuscating, if I'm being honest. Like,
Mhm.
It's so painful. It's like trying to draw blood from a stone sometimes just talking to him.
Yeah.
I'm nice to Maggie.
I mean, I think most people are going to be
you're gonna
nice
have
to Maggie because they're fucking shit scared of her.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I still love the fact that, because obviously Gemma's been in the city for a while and he's been visiting the library for a while. This is stuff I've mentioned in stream, and Lewis and I mentioned, I'm okay acquaintances with the librarian, and Lewis messaged me before the first session being like, so when you meet Maggie, just by the way, that second session, she's weird, don't react to it because you're used to her.
Yeah, I didn't want I didn't want Ed to, who has obviously been spoken about as someone who's been in the library a lot and knows Maggie. I didn't want me to start talking as her in the weird way that she speaks, and Ed to be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Maggie, are you okay?
I mean, you played it off really well. Because everyone else was like, what the fuck? And Jeremiah's like, she's cool.
It's just Maggie.
I think
Just
she probably
Maggie.
would have been the first person he considered a proper friend in the city when he moved there. I mean, it's the Pat, the owner of the tavern, but he's more like he's friendly, but more of like a boss relationship, I would have thought.
Mm.
And I like the fact that his only friend is possibly the weirdest person in this whole city.
I'm sure that doesn't give
That's
you
quite fun.
doesn't give you any insight into Jeremiah.
Yeah.
What so what are your thoughts on Maggie, all of you? I know she's a bit weird, she's a bit strange. Like what do you guys think of her? And obviously yesterday there was the moment where she had, no spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched, but had mentioned there were 3 people that came and looked for you, so I killed.
I think she's just a tease.
Yep.
She just keeps mentioning stuff we want to know, and she's like, can't tell them yet.
She keeps whispering sweet nothings
Yeah.
into my ear.
Or breathing on my neck.
Yes.
She's undressing me with her eyes, her weird eyes.
So she's one of my favourite NPCs to play in any of my games because I can just sort of just lean into that. And I'm sure a lot of you like doing it as well when you're playing, and you can just lean into that little bit of chaos and just be a bit random, be a bit weird. Don't have to be measured or thinking too much about what you're doing.
I don't know what you mean. None of us.
You absolutely, yeah, right. Okay, so let's move that nice segue into Maeve,
Yes.
who is
It's completely unchaotic.
is chaos.
How are you defining chaos?
I don't think she's chaotic at all.
So there are little bits of Maeve that are sort of being looked into by the others, like her appearance, her slight weirdness. How are you enjoying playing Maeve and being chaotic?
She's great fun. Yeah, she's great fun to play. Without saying too much, there's a lot of things that I kind of worked in to her that interest me personally as well. So like being able to work those in to a character is great fun. Like obviously I know a few bits have been picked up by players outside of the actual sessions for what Maeve kind of is about. And I think when that started to be figured out around session 3 and they were just like, yeah, well played, and I was like,
Ed's reaction to that live was one of my favourite moments of the campaign. Just seeing Ed straight away, and I watched his reaction, and then sat, because my Discord messages come up on my right hand screen, and I sat and just waited for the pop up of Ed messaging me saying something, and it was there instantly.
Yeah,
it was a good moment.
So yeah, that's but yeah, that's been really fun to play, is working in those bits, but kind of just in subtle ways that I think most people, especially if they weren't kind of D&D players and didn't know about stuff, would not pick up on. They would just think that she was just weird and pure chaos. But then obviously people will start to pick up on bits of why she is the way that she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. What's everyone else's opinions of Maeve now that Emma's said
Yeah.
bits and pieces about her?
Yeah, I mean, personally, like, because I'd still consider myself quite new to D&D. So, especially when it comes to D&D lore, I am not keyed up in that shit, admittedly. So, I'm still unraveling it and like learning as I go along. But I suppose that's quite true to my character anyway. So, it's my character wouldn't know what the fuck is going on anyway. So it makes sense that I don't know either.
Well, that's part of the fun of it, I think. As and it's something I've said. I don't know if I said it in one of our talks on Tuesdays or whatever, but part of the fun of having these newer players that I've had for the last however long, and some of you guys, is they're sort of living the story as the story's happening, because they don't have that 5, 10, 15 years of D&D lore, knowing what spells do, knowing all this, that, and the other. So when something comes up in someone's backstory, or something comes up as someone being something they didn't seem like they were, the genuine excitement and intrigue that you get from a newer player is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I wish I could go back and have that again. And it's nice to see it.
Yeah. It's like, because, I prefer to learn that way in session and as I go along and in practice than, sort of reading books upon books beforehand. I find, obviously, like, things like that. And I suppose it doesn't help that I've not been able to play Baldur's Gate either, so that's obviously like I want to but I can't. So, that's obviously, when I get to play that, that'll get me a bit further ahead in the knowledge game. So
Yeah, definitely.
But I do like Maeve, and I do enjoy that chaotic element to the group. Yeah. It's
funny from a being the NPC's point of view. Maeve to me is chaos for one, but also I think has this slight naivety about her, where she's asking all these questions and a bit confused as to why people aren't answering all of her questions. That some of them are a bit strange, like fingers and thumbs and fingers. But I like that about her. I think it's an endearing quality to her, where she's got this chaos and you don't know what she's going to say next, but then at times she's almost quite gullible, it seems.
It's almost like a lovable, like, gremlin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're fucking, they're beastie, but you just want to cuddle them as well. Like a bear. It'll kill you, but...
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
Ed and Sheree, your thoughts on Maeve, your interactions with Maeve so far, and
Jeremiah I think he's a bit on the back foot a bit, because I think she's unlike anyone he's met before. But at the same time, I mean, he doesn't understand the actual complicatedness of why she gave him the friendship bracelet. He's just seen it as, yes, he's finally met a friend. So I think I think he's definitely friendly with her. He likes her. He does think she's weird.
I think
She is weird.
I think it's quite common knowledge that she's weird, especially when she's coming downstairs. And although you guys and your characters might have read a bit more into what she actually is and what she's trying to tell you she is, just coming downstairs and being a completely different colour and hair colour.
Very theatrical. With, all of her stage makeup and wigs.
Yeah. She's got a full collection. Almost like she's got one for every season.
Write that down. I'm writing that down. That's a clue. I know
it. As she is a fan favourite, we'll leave Pebbles till last. Azalea. Sheree, what's it like playing Azalea? What are your thoughts and your feelings so far? Of of the characters we have, I think she's more of an unknown entity than the others so far.
Yeah,
She's
I
a
would
bit
agree.
more
with
reserved,
that.
a bit more quiet. Not much like. There are bits and pieces that we've seen, at least, of sort of Jeremiah's stuff. Little bits and pieces that have been figured out on Maeve's stuff.
Mm.
Bits of Misha's, bits of Pebbles, but not as much on Azalea. Was playing her, keeping stuff from people.
I think it's the whole fact of it is her first time in a new city. She is learning these new people, and since she's entered, it's just gone to shit, to be honest. Fog, people dying, now have to make deals. She's a bit overwhelmed and she don't know if she can fully trust people yet and what she wants to give out.
Welcome to City Life.
It's great.
And she's sort of
Loving
like,
it.
it's quite nice in that respect because I think she's in this city for the first time and she's been chucked with these complete unique group of 4 other individuals who all have their own quirks and unique things going on. And how she battles that moving forward is something I'm looking forward to seeing. Like the development on that side of things with her coming in first session, us literally witnessing her entering the city for the first time. And going from that to being chucked into this group, these weird fogs are happening, you've got a new tattoo or marking of some sort. And I think I'm excited in that respect to see where she goes, how she develops, how she starts sort of coming out of her shell a little bit.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that because I know it's coming. She's just waiting to get used to you weird ones. She's still working you guys out. You got a tree, a cat, a very nice guy who tends to now use blood for his weapons. And then we've just got Maeve who's just we like Maeve, but we're still working you out. You're a bit weird. Yeah.
I think
Working you out.
I liked the wording you used there where you're trying to figure everyone out, but I think everyone's trying to figure themselves out at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what's quite fun about this campaign because no one really knows what the hell is going on with even their characters. So that's quite fun.
I do find
Especially like, go on it.
I do find it funny that both me and Reese have both our like backgrounds. We're trying to figure out who the hell we are. And I just love that. I love the fact that, as I said, we made these all independent of each other and we've picked up onto like similar threads and strings for our backstories.
And that's quite, from a DM point of view, that's a lot of fun for me because you guys don't know your backstories, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff that you may find out, will find out, like the fact that you are saying you don't really know much and Misha's saying he doesn't really know much, that is you being honest.
Yeah. I think the party knows like the really broad strokes of Jeremiah's backstory because honestly, I was going to play this like really close to the chest and like he doesn't trust people. But then as we started doing it, I was like, I don't think he would. So I've actually revealed more of his backstory than I was intending to.
That seems like it fits quite nicely into your character. Like you've created this sort of character, and from my point of view, it's almost like you wear your heart on your sleeve because you've not got much of a. Well, you don't have any friends, so it's sort of like when you do have that opportunity to have them, even though logically you think that you're gonna play it safe, your emotions take a hold of you and you end up just like I said, like wearing your heart on your sleeve and being more open than you'd like to because you're enjoying that element of having people close to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think that's a really good really good summary of Jeremiah and how I'm trying to play him. He is I wouldn't say he's my most emotional character because I am playing a character on Monday with Lewis and Cherie, who is the big old scaredy cat, and he's just a constant emotion. He is I think he is my sweetest and kindest character.
Like vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Which, you know, being a blood hunter, not blood hunter, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a blood hunter, you know, it, like you said before, it's that sort of, again, and you've said it in past podcast with Talk on Tuesday with Lewis, is that you like to play those juxtaposed
Yeah.
characters. So you could definitely see it in Jeremiah.
Lewis is right though, because like I think the broad strokes of his backstory have been revealed. There's little bits that are more personal to him that he just hasn't come up, or there's just no reason for it to be brought up yet. But like, there's not really much you don't know now, and the stuff that you don't know, I also don't know, because I really did just give Lewis the reins and just be like, surprise me.
And I can't wait to do that.
Yes.
Someone else who doesn't know much about theirs, Misha. He's not here because he sucks.
Ugh, yeah,
He's
Misha.
watching, that's the only reason I'm saying it.
It's just not good enough. We're going to have to start recruiting
It's not.
for a replacement.
Shocking.
For a replacement.
Yeah, I think
We'll get someone who can do the same accent and just replace him. It's
We
fine.
will receive applications on any of the socials. Anyone watching?
Must be able to do mediocre Southern
so-
US accent.
We need some sample footage of you doing the accent if you are wanting to do it, because then we can have a laugh at you. What's everyone's thoughts on the suited and booted wooden man that is Misha? I absolutely love the character
Yeah.
to bits.
Yeah, same.
He's like this weird, gentle giant who, I don't know if it's, no offense to you, Reese, I don't know if it's Reese coming through or Misha coming through, but seems a bit slow at times on the uptake, which is hilarious. I just think, like, I think favourites with viewers were always, based on what we've had so far, were always going to be Pebbles and Misha, because Misha is just hilarious and the accent works so well, and Reese does so well keeping it up. Reese, we love you to bits, and it's a shame you're not here, but
Yeah.
it's nice that you're watching. So everyone's thoughts on Misha and the interactions they've had with him and stuff that he's been up to so far.
Maeve like really likes him, like similar to what you said. She like sees him as like a gentle kind of giant, but also is very cautious of him because she's wary of how many questions and like how much he kind of pokes for questions and things. So she's a little wary of when he starts to ask her questions. But he's also able to pass it off in her own very unique way as well with how she answers. So yeah, she really likes him. But yeah, she's also wary at the same time. She also does still want to try and chop one of his fingers off to see if it grows back. So she's still curious about that. She won't,
Okay.
but
And she's not chaotic at all.
no. But yeah, she kind of wants to see if his like grew and if it'll grow back.
I think that's one thing that Reese offers very much in a very generous way of being a D&D player. And it's he's sort of, if for anyone that watches Critical Role, Travis Willingham does exactly the same, is sort of sharing the spotlight, and his way of bringing someone into the scene that is happening by asking them questions randomly, asking them about their backstory. He's very good at, one, jumping up and taking the spotlight when it's needed, but also sharing it with you guys and bringing your characters in and making sure that, I don't know if he does it intentionally to bring you into the spotlight, but because he's so curious and just wants to know everything, and he's just so into getting into the nitty gritty of everyone, it sort of, without noticing, brings everyone into the scene and everyone into the and gets you finding out more than you would have found out if he'd have not shared that bit of spotlight.
I think he's such a wonderful person.
Earlier.
I think that shines through.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need to stop
definitely.
complimenting him because he hasn't turned up.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I
He's
liked
a
the
terrible
moment with Misha
person.
and Azalea where he gave her the staff to make her
Staff of
feel
staff,
comfortable.
Yes.
That was really sweet and nice. Like, because obviously she was obviously really awkward and didn't want to go like in the library. So I think that the act of like giving her his staff to hold like was really sweet. To like bring her in and make her feel more comfortable. That was really nice. I like.
But he is a dreadful person. I can't keep just going at him. I don't know if he's still watching.
Oh,
He
no,
is,
he's
yeah.
just-
No, I
He's
don't
in
think
chat, but I don't know if he's
so.
actually paying attention because he's not. Oh, he's put. I love you guys. We hate you. We hate you very much. No, we love you, Reese, and it's an absolute pleasure to play with. And there are times where I'm watching you, and he said that he was going for this Tom Hanks Forrest Gump sound, and there's this little slight quiver that he does in his voice when he starts trying to say certain things. And if I close my eyes, to me it sounds like Forrest Gump or Woody out of Toy Story, so he's smashing it. Absolutely love it. From one fan favourite to probably there will be a Pebbles fan club at some point.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
If Pebbles ever dies in this game, then I will probably get death threats. Not just from Martine, but from viewers. Martine, what's it like playing Pebbles? It's first, like you said, as a few people are in this, newer to D&D, first time playing that class.
Mm,
First time
Yeah.
playing a Tabaxi.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
it like being
Well,
Pebbles?
see, it was scary for me playing a rogue because in any like video game or anything that I've played, I hate doing stealth. I hate it with a passion. I'd rather go in all guns blazing and just kill everything and loot and get out. So going stealth is my fucking nightmare. But because I really wanted to play Tabaxi, I knew that I had to play something that was going to align with it at least a little bit, and obviously that would be rogue. So it's definitely scary learning the mechanics, sneak attack and things like that come into play that are going to give you an advantage rather than just being able to, balls to the walls it and just try and firm it. So it's it's definitely tricky in combat with that. I'm definitely going to forget about sneak attack and just try and go up and stab someone in the head.
I will try and remind you.
Thank
For
you.
now.
Emote idea. We'll make a sneak attack emote that people can spam
Yes.
the chat
Yeah.
with.
I know, yeah. But yeah, I like Pebbles. I like sort of, again, it's like, I've said this before, is with Pebbles, some of the things that she says are quite out of character for like me as an individual, so it goes against me. So like, say for example, in yesterday's session, when I said to, I think it was Misha, and I said, you ask a lot of questions, don't you? Or something like that. It may have been in a more meaner undertone, more harsher way, which again is it hurts my people pleasing soul. So yeah, but it's one of them, isn't it? It's trying to increase your versatility as a D&D player and play into the character more. So yeah, I do like Pebbles.
I think everyone likes Pebbles. Guys, what's your
Oh.
thoughts on
Amazing.
the
She's brilliant. Yeah.
Amazing.
little sneaky
Love her.
Pebbles?
Love
Yeah.
her.
She's absolutely brilliant.
Martine's going to cry in a minute.
I might do. My little heart. Oh, hold on a sec. He's written a novel.
God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
From a player's perspective, was there any concerns on how your characters were going to handle these wonderful characters or moral dilemmas? Is Pebble's sticky hands on Misha being too nice, or the chaotic or randomness of the group? I'm not going to lie to you, Reese. I don't know what the fuck that means.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, I think I get it. Like,
That's a lot of
Please
words in a
translate.
At least from
sentence,
what I
which
was
I think
thinking.
needs more punctuation.
What I was kind of thinking, at least what came to my when I was reading it, because I normally play quite lawful good characters. Jeremiah is not lawful good. I won't tell you what he is exactly. But like he doesn't have the same moral objections to breaking laws that most of my characters do, which means he's not going to mind that Pebbles has slightly sticky hands to everything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just where he grew up, they didn't really have there wasn't a huge law presence because they were just so remote in the kingdom. Most of the things had to be handled in town.
Within, yeah.
So it was very much, you do what you do what you have to do. His objections to the general isn't so much the fact that it's breaking the law, it's the fact that, well, it's going to get us killed.
Yeah.
I think that's what Reese is that our characters are going to have moral objections to what people are being. Like,
how do you have any concerns on how your characters are going to handle things moving forward? With like the fact that Pebbles has sticky fingers and could cause you guys some issues, the moral dilemmas of things like that, or are they going to get annoyed with Misha being too nice all the time, or if Azalea doesn't speak up at certain points, are they going to start going at Azalea? What are your thoughts on like having these moral dilemmas, playing them as your characters, going the way that they would go instead of naturally the way you would go?
I definitely think Pebbles is going to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
I think you're going to
Pebbles
steal
first.
something and it's going to bite us in the ass.
Pebbles or Maeve?
I was just about to say, do not
Maeve
discredit
wouldn't steal
Maeve.
Pebbles
for
or
being
Maeve
all-
is going to set something
maybe
on
not from
fire.
thievery, but from
Yeah.
chaoticness.
Yeah.
I think them two are the ones to watch out for, absolutely.
We're going to leave Adoria in
See, I feel-
flames.
See, I feel like personally that Maeve's got more of a chaotic streak than Pebbles. In more of the randomness of it. From what I've seen so far, anyway. More
Maeve,
of just the
Maeve is 100% randomly chaotic for reasons.
yeah. Whereas
In very different ways to Pebbles. Like Maeve has reasons why she doesn't agree with stealing and things like that. And why there's reasons why she keeps warning you against it. But yeah, she's 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're on the same spectrum, but they're in different places on the spectrum.
If you hadn't have come and drag her away the other day, she'd still be stood in front of that door.
Yeah.
100%, she would still be stood in front of that door, just saying names.
It's a different logic system, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more kind of like you've got Pebbles who might be more organised chaos and
Crime.
than me
yeah.
with disorganised.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what Maeve thinks, or what Emma thinks, should I say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be interesting.
What's Azalea's take? Because so far what we've learned, she's kind of grown up outside of, I suppose, what our characters might consider typical settings.
To be honest, she just looks at you two as if you're having fun.
God.
Like, she doesn't see it completely bad. She was surrounded by that stuff at home as well. So she's kind of used to it. And there's still a side what hasn't came out in her yet. So there's still more to come. But from Pebbles and Maeve, she just looks at them as they would be really fun to hang around. But gotta keep a tight leash. Because we're going to end up in trouble at some point.
Yeah, because I feel like Azalea has sort of almost been tempted to join in the chaos and, like, sort of like, oh, that
She's
sounds
come up with some
fun,
points
kind of
like about
thing.
murder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Maeve's been like, oh, a friend.
But then you sort of like try and rein it back in, almost like this.
Yeah, like
Like-
you're trying to control it.
Yeah.
You've got planned chaos, pure chaos, and controlled chaos. So Pebbles is like planned chaos. Maeve is just pure chaos, and Azalea is controlled chaos.
Controlling it.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like Jeremiah and Misha are like the dads of the group.
I feel
Yeah.
like Misha has a little bit of
Like it.
chaos in him.
Yeah.
I think
can
when
see
he's
that.
around someone like Pebbles, the conversations they have, I feel like there are tinges of chaos that could
Yeah,
be
like
drawn
the-
out of
yeah.
Misha.
like the
Yeah.
like the loaf cake, like putting him up on his
Yeah.
like as a handstand, like he's sort of like it's almost like a curiosity, like just going with the flow, and sort of like I think it's more like if it's harmless chaos, then he's in for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
he did mention swallowing Jamina yesterday
He
Yeah.
did,
and
yeah.
storing her.
Yeah.
And although he
Really
was
good
saying,
scene.
I'm not going to if someone's going to ask me, that no one even went close to offering that as a suggestion.
No.
I feel like he is, and I can't speak for Reese, but I feel like from my watching, if Pebbles or Maeve get close to him, I feel like he could absolutely be swayed into doing stuff that they think is a good idea.
I think that might come from, like, from what I know of Misha currently, is the fact that he didn't have sort of like an upbringing, so to say. He was just dropped into the world, so he didn't have chance to mould a solid moral compass. So it's sort of like whoever he's around, he might mould to that, and it's more malleable because obviously he's not had that development. As
I think
you know.
malleable is a good word. I was watching, not yesterday's session, but the one before that where you weren't there, Pebbles, and it was the conversation with General Winforth, and Misha was quite hard to start off with, but then General Winforth said a couple of little things, and Misha just straight away went, "Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds fine." And malleable is exactly the right word for what happened in that situation.
Right.
I think if it's because he's very protective, again, I think if the chaos is framed in a way that it can protect people, the people that he deems worthy of protecting, then he would be completely up for the chaos if it was viewed in like a good way. So if it was in favor of like some helpless people against some other people, no matter how chaotic it would be, I think he'd be on board.
It's like, it's like almost as if it's very black and white, almost like he can't, and this is just presumptuous, obviously, but sort of not being able to detect like I don't know how to put it, sort of like, like detecting those kind of social cues where there's an ulterior motive, but maybe, I don't know though, I might be wrong in that, because I feel like he's not that naive, but there is a sense of that naivety in that, that sounds, if someone tells him like Maeve, like Emma's just said, like, it's framed in that way, it's like, on the surface, okay, that sounds good, that sounds like a good thing, and can't necessarily see that reframing it. I don't know how to put it.
I get what you mean. Like if something is framed at surface level as being for the greater good, and he's not, from what we can see, or from what I can see, he's not looking any deeper into that. He's not looking at the hidden motives behind that. But that surface of, but this will be good for this reason. Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
I
interesting.
agree with that. It is.
But again, I think that's because there's not been that teaching process, or at least that's what we know so far, is that there's not been that. He's not really had like a role model that we know of. That we know of.
And other than Clovis, which would have been a child.
Yeah.
So he's like, he spent the life that he can remember taking care of a child, which obviously children don't have kind of their own moral compass at that age. They go by what they are told from people older than them. So, and because Misha won't have had that, both their moral compasses are gonna still have that kind of childhood naivety about them of this is good, that's bad, and not kind of look into what's underneath it and what could happen beyond that moment of that being good and that being bad at that time.
Which makes sense, because when we think about when he interacted with Clovis in the second episode, when he wanted to go into that room, but Clovis was one that was like, are you sure this could be a bad idea? Where Clovis has sort of like progressed with his, you know, detection skills almost. Like Misha is still, you know, hasn't been able to thingy, perhaps.
Off the back of that, something I was wondering as you guys were talking about it, character development wise, I know we've only done 5 sessions, but Ed's already touched on the fact that he wanted to be a bit more secretive and be a bit more close to his chest. Is there anyone else that sort of characters changed over the first 5 episodes to what they expected, or what they felt like they were gonna, how they felt like they were gonna play them? Ed, do you want to start? We'll start with you with yours. So, like, you touched on a little bits before.
I mean, yeah, the way he left his village wasn't. I haven't really touched this in such a bit. I mean, he deflected the question when it got asked why he left. Infer from that what you will. So I was going to play a much more. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to deflect. Going to redirect the question. But when the questions were being asked, it was just a bit like, I feel like deflecting or not answering the question is just going to draw more attention to the things he wants to keep hidden. It's so very obvious when someone does that. So it's like, well, then it makes more sense if he does speak and he's honest about it. He just doesn't mention the thing he doesn't want to mention, which is, I think, what most people do in life anyway.
Yeah.
But because another thing is the fact that, like, all the stuff about his father and then the things he got left, none of that was meant to come up. That was all meant to be secret for a really, really long time. But then it got brought up really naturally in session, and then Maeve's offered to translate it for him, and the whole reason he's been spending all this time in the bloody library is to find a way to make sense of the diary and the letters. It's like he's definitely going to jump at the chance to have you translate them.
If I can.
Yes.
Could be like the tattoo.
Yes.
Where it's like, no.
We'll find out soon, I guess.
Yeah.
What about anyone else? Has anyone else played things a little bit differently, or bits of backstory come up quicker than you wanted? Or Martine, I believe we had a conversation that you were about the Velvet Blade, sort of, and you didn't expect them to come up so quickly and stuff.
Yeah, sort of similar to what you're saying, Ed. Like with Pebbles, that was supposed to be really close to her chest for ever, and obviously, like, that's come up, and I didn't want that to be as. Obviously, there's certain things that I'm revealing, and there's certain things that I'm not. And yeah, it's just hard when that's the current situation. And Misha is in my ear asking me these questions constantly, and I'm like, I'm basically at the point where I'm just going to tell him to fuck off.
It was Reese too. Reese was asking me the questions too. He's just pulling it out.
It's always Reese with the questions.
And it's like,
okay.
That's why, you know, I'm trying to keep to my character in that, you know, she's quite cold and she's quite harsh in certain ways, you know, and sort of having that. Yeah, it's definitely, it's difficult to maneuver. You know, you want to give something and not constantly be like, I plead the fifth, sort of constantly, because also you want to build a rapport, and it's just, it's difficult. You want to give some, but you don't want to give it all, and it's knowing where the line is.
It's just not a fun session, is it?
Mm.
If you're like trying to interact with fellow characters and they're just like, no, not answering this, not
Yeah,
answering
no,
that. And it's just a bit,
exactly.
it's just like, it just keeps closing things off. And it's a bit like,
But you also don't want to give everything away,
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
and slap it all on the table straight off.
especially to
I do like
strangers, because
the-
we are strangers to each other, essentially.
Exactly, yeah. And
I do like the difference
Pebbles.
between how Jeremiah and Pebbles confront those situations, though, where Jeremiah just sort of half goes along with it, half a bit, whereas Pebbles will be like, Misha, did you call me? Pebbles straight away is just the most obvious person that she does not want to talk about it.
I mean, he has, like, Misha did ask him a question which he did deflect.
Mhm.
And, like, if someone asks him a point blank question he doesn't want to answer, he will just say, I'm not comfortable answering this.
Mm,
Or find a reason out of it. It just hasn't come up yet,
yeah.
really.
See, I think part of why Pebbles does that when she's asked a question is because I think because me as an individual, I'm an awkward person as it is. It's I sort of slip back into my awkwardness as an actual person, and I try and keep it as close to the character as I can, and I'm just like, how do I like deal with this awkwardness that I've got rising up in me, and try and also stay in character at the same
Yeah.
time. So it's a hard thing to maneuver.
What about you, Azalea? I love how the fact I
Completely
just
different.
called you your name. How about
I
you,
know, you just
Shri?
keep doing it. I've got a new name apparently, according to Ed. Azalea is played completely different to what I expected her to be. She, from what I thought she was going to be and how I planned, she was going to be lively and loud and very open with everyone. And she's gone the complete opposite way. Don't know why, but it's really weird to go into it thinking you're going to be one way and then it comes out completely different.
There's ways to play that. I mean, she is new in the city. Like, this is all very. She hasn't. Maybe she can't. She hasn't found her feet yet because everything's new around her, and she's had these random strangers who keep dragging her into weird situations.
Death everywhere.
That's not
I think
us.
I think that's the
Wow.
beauty of D&D though, is that, you know, it can change and, you know, flip and you know, you don't know what the story's going to throw at you, so
Yeah.
you can just go with the
That's-
flow as well.
It's the beauty of it, in my opinion.
Mm.
It's my favourite sessions as my part of the game is when you guys completely throw me curveballs, and I have to completely be improvising every 2 minutes to figure out how to get out of the situation that you have me in or put yourselves in.
Hear that,
Um,
everyone?
Go for it.
That's what we need to. That's what we need to
TPKs
plan.
are welcome.
What? That escalated
Whoa.
quickly.
Yes, it did. No. Yeah, so I think that's the thing that sort of made me fall in love with D&D is that side of things. Like, even as a player, as a DM, not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing what someone is going to say to me next, not knowing what's going to happen in the story next. I think that's the complete beauty of it. And you can never. They say that DMs can never plan a full session. Players will always be there to mess it up. But it's the same with you guys. You don't know what my NPCs are going to say. You don't know what's going to happen in the world. Like, Ed, we spoke after the session where the mist returned, and you said, "Well, that's completely not what I expected from the story. I didn't expect it to return. I expected this to happen or this to happen, but not that."
I didn't expect it to return in the same city. My brain doesn't shut up. I'm constantly thinking about where this is going to go, what's going to happen, what's it going to throw at us, this, that. I'm like 9 steps ahead in an imaginary campaign, which is just bogus. But like, I kind of thought that like maybe the fog would happen in another city, and that would give us like reason to travel to a new place. No, that was wrong.
What are talking of the fog? Has anyone got any sort of I always wonder this with players. Has anyone got any sort of, Ed, especially possibly you, because you are 9 steps ahead in a completely different campaign. Any like thoughts, ideas
I think
on
this is
what the hell is happening?
the precursor
what-
to
yeah.
Tiamat entering the campaign.
It could be. You never know. Any thoughts, ideas, any sort of guesses? I'd just like to know a player's thoughts and opinions on how things are and what they think is happening, and because I just find it interesting to see it from a player's point of view.
So I feel like I don't want to say anything because you'll change
Why?
it.
I don't need to change anything.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
I'm not going to take your ideas and run with them. Never.
you don't want to give us the satisfaction of being able to
Getting
say
it
I
right.
knew it.
Absolutely not, because I know what this fog and stuff is. That's not changing.
I wonder if it has something. Because I mean, you, Lewis, you sent us information we would know, being people in this world, and I forget what it's. I'd have to go back through but
I know
the
exactly what you're talking about.
convergence.
Yes.
And I wonder if this is something to do with that in some way. Because when I was reading through the information, I was wondering, when is the next one? Like, I couldn't actually find a date of the last one. I was like, when is the next one going to be? I do wonder if that's going to somehow
You see,
make an
mine has
occurrence.
gone Ghostbusters route, and it's gone like, is it changing the ley line? Is it like charging the ley line points in the city? Like where the people are appearing with the fog, is it like charging the ley lines up to do something? Because obviously ley lines, like,
Yeah.
they're in a lot of magical stuff, and it's supposed to carry a lot of power out there. So I was like, I wonder if it is somehow charging those ley lines up.
Because it's interesting. Because it's not. Because it's like, if they're looking for people like our characters who are somehow immune to this, they're not doing a very good job, because they haven't found us or taken us away. I mean, they could be playing the long game, but so far it just seems like
Yeah.
they're just killing off people in the city.
Yeah,
Which
that's
it
one thing I'm
also
not sure
seems
of is
weird.
Why
Ollie's
we're the
just
other
said in
ones?
chat, is it a complete red herring and it's being used to distract from what the actual bad guys are doing?
But is it a
Yeah,
good?
could be.
Is it a good? I mean, it could be. I don't know if it's like a really good red herring, because why would we be immune to it?
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, the dude, when we met him up on the building, said, "You're not meant to be here yet." It does kind of sound like we are involved in this now, because for some reason he thought we were going to come at another time, and Grok is somehow involved.
Maybe it's a
Yeah, I
Leave
agree.
my grok alone.
No,
Nope,
Yeah,
he
Grok's
was
definitely-
immune. What the hell is happening there?
sus.
I thought this from the beginning because I was instantly suspicious of Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because why is he the only one alive in that area?
exactly.
Everyone
Le-
else is dead.
and Layla
it came
too.
through the
I
buildings
will
and killed
put it to you.
people, and yet he's alive.
I will put it to you. You have not checked every single person in that whole area.
We can't. There's been a blockade.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Grok
think-
for BBEG.
Yesterday, Ollie put
No, yeah.
if Maggie turns out to be the big bad
Oh,
guy
stop.
Yeah.
at the end. And I absolutely love
That's
Maggie.
fine. She'll spare Jeremiah.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I gave her some bread, so I'm off the hook.
Oh, I think I'm
Now.
going first if it's Maggie.
Bree, what's your thoughts on the mist? Any ideas? Any ideas that you've had, or thoughts of what this could possibly be? I mean, this is you, not as like Azalea.
Yeah, but then it's hard because every time I keep getting an idea, something else happens with the fog, and then it just wipes that idea out the window completely. Like, I didn't think it was going to come back for a second time, and then it did. I didn't actually expect to find anyone creating the fog. That one did surprise me, I'm not going to lie. All I know definitely it's magical. That's it, but I don't know what or why.
I pose a question off the back of that. Was he making the fog?
I did wonder that.
From what Azalea saw, yeah,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
Because he was in the
It
fog too,
seemed
wasn't he,
like
with
it.
us?
He was in the fog, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
he was
think-
doing something.
Yeah, definitely something to do with it, if not creating
Yeah.
it, using it somehow
Mm-hmm.
for whatever it is that he was like
Controlling
doing
it.
with the stuff before. If that wasn't creating it, it's is either using it for something or creating it, I think, at the minute.
And if he was somehow aligned with us, trying to save people, would he send monsters after us?
Yeah, that's. I don't think. Yeah,
I did wonder if, because when we first came up and Lewis described him as, like there's this red ichor liquid coming off his hands and like dissipating into the air. I did wonder if it was somehow Blood Hunter related.
yeah, I thought the same.
That
When you
came
said
to
it,
my
I
head.
thought the same.
But I think Lewis has later clarified that it wasn't blood.
Yeah.
I have not confirmed or denied that it was blood. I said it was a red globular Icarus liquid. Was my words.
Reese asks,
See-
was he trying to stop the fog?
I don't think so. You see, again, my brain's going to
Mm.
films. You know, like the D&D movie, the what is it? The Wizards of the
Yes, I
yeah,
did.
creating the red mist
I
that
did
kills
wonder
everyone and
that.
turns them into zombies. Kind of things done it, and I was like, that's why I was thinking it was him, because they do similar in that. So I was like wondering. I wonder if it works similar to that, basically.
I have wondered what we would learn if we went to try to find some of the bodies. Like,
Mm.
is something happening to them now? Because it's been a couple of days. They should be through the first couple of stages of decomposition.
Yeah.
Is something happening? Are they growing stuff that they shouldn't be? Have they come back, or are they preserved?
But that's why one of the reasons why I was saying about Jamina, like, like leaving her body there, because obviously it's going to end up probably being taken.
Yeah.
And
Was
then
that the reason? I thought when you were doing that scene and you said, "I lock the door." By the way,
Yeah.
I thought that was you being clever and locking it so that no one can get in there. It might have been. I'm assuming. Yeah.
It was locking it so that people can't just walk in. Kind of make, because obviously she was behind the counter, wasn't she? So people just looking in the window wouldn't be able to see her. So it basically means that if the stone arm or whoever it is that's taking these bodies would come, they would have to find a way to enter that shop. Now, knowing what Zephyr is like, I am guessing that there will be some kind of way on that shop that he will be able to tell if someone has entered that he doesn't want to have entered. Like with all his little hiding spaces and secret things like that. I have no doubt that he has some way on that shop of knowing that someone's been in if he doesn't want them to. Obviously, if he does come back, he's going to look for Jamina, which is why I left the note. Which I forgot to explain to you, Lewis, but I'm kind of hoping that you guess what I was getting at with that note.
I know exactly what you're doing. Yeah.
So like a note that even if someone else read it, they kind of wouldn't be able to get any answers for, because it would only work for him, basically. So it was like, yeah, a way of, even if somehow they did get in and she was gone or she was just gone, he would be able to contact me and like talk about it without anyone else kind of figuring it out. So it was, yeah, like protect everything as much in it as I can do to put things in place that he would know if he came back, basically. Or if she comes back as a zombie, she's got less chance of being able to get out. Always lock your doors in a zombie apocalypse, people.
Yeah.
Rule 1.
I'll remember that for when it happens.
Yeah.
So you guys, and chat are constantly talking about Grok being the bad guy or Maggie being the bad guy. What are your thoughts on these NPCs that you've met so far? You've obviously General Winforth, Grok, Maggie. You've just met Cujo.
Cujo. I don't trust Grok. Layla is also one I'm not trusting too much. I don't know about Cujo, yeah. He's still a bit of an unknown. I don't appreciate that he's just found his way into Jeremiah's bedroom.
Why do you not trust Lila?
So Jeremiah doesn't know this. As a player, I don't trust her. Jeremiah doesn't really have an opinion of her because she's just
Yeah.
Misha's boss. But like,
She's just
as a player, I know that she appeared to you in the middle of the fog, and she appeared unaffected. And at one point, one of the random thoughts that popped into my head was like, I wonder if Grok and Layla were part of like an adventuring group like 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. I don't know who the big bad is yet. It could be Grok.
No.
That'd be funny.
so you basically don't trust any of the NPCs.
Maeve doesn't trust General Winforth, neither
Oh,
do
God,
I.
no.
I don't think
like,
anyone
she
does.
doesn't like him at all. She likes Maggie, believe it or not, but she's more interested in who Maggie is speaking to. Because of who
Uh-huh.
Maeve
Yeah.
is, she knows
Mm-hmm.
of the many things that she could be talking to. So she is Maeve is not thinking that it's a voice in Maggie's head. Maeve is 100% thinking that there is something
There is a
that Maggie
communication
is
happening
talking
with
to.
something.
Yeah.
You need to see
Because of
invisibility
the way
spell.
that not even that. So because of how Maeve has grown up, she sees things very differently, and she knows that it could be any number of things that Maggie is speaking to, which is why she just keeps like looking past Maggie and talking to random things, or like waiting for the books to answer her and things like that, because she 100% knows that maybe the books will answer
Who knows?
her.
They might.
Yeah, they might. But yeah, so she does actually like Maggie, but yeah, she wants to find out what the voice is. Grok, the same, she doesn't trust. That's why when like Pebbles stole the stone, I asked if I recognised it from anywhere to
Mhm.
try and kind of see if he had any other connections going on.
Mhm. Yep.
Cujo, obviously we don't know yet, but just from having played a Grump before, I was just like, yeah.
He isn't a grung, by the way.
Oh well, that's where my brain went with like the frog.
He's close enough. He's a
Yeah.
frog, but he's not a grung.
So yeah, we'll see with him.
I feel like Pebbles quite likes Maggie as well. I feel like there's something deep down in Pebbles where she's like, she's scary, but I like her a bit.
Yeah, I think so far, yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I don't know if it's more out of like respect almost as well. Like that Maggie is sort of, she holds her own and she doesn't take any bullshit either. So I think Pebbles quite, appreciates that. But Pebbles will still try and have banter with her, even if it means that she'll shred me.
I was just reading Ollie's comment about Maggie. Maggie's so fun to play. We were talking about it before you joined, Ollie. I think that it's just nice being that sort of chaos side, that sort of unpredictable almost. Like, as I said in yesterday's session, where I can just bring out the 3 people came to look for you, so I killed them. Like, that's, everyone was like, what? And I love that. That's such a fun, unpredictable moment. Characters like her are so good to play in that regard. I understand why none of you trust any of them, which is fun. It's quite interesting. It's nice to see plans coming together. What's Azalea's thoughts on the NPCs, people you've met so far?
Most of them she doesn't trust. Maggie.
She doesn't trust any of the players either, though, does she?
No, she doesn't have much trust in people. Well, she does seem to trust the general. Don't ask me why, but she's
Why?
don't know. That's why she was more for it. Don't ask Ed.
Sorry.
It's interesting that she's the only one who trusts him.
Out of all of them as well, that's
Mm.
the only person she seems to trust. It's just there's certain things he has said she agrees with and understands what he's getting at and gets his terms, gets his reasoning, so she can see where he could be helpful to her, let alone help him. And then maybe this crazy ass city where everyone keeps dying from a mysterious fog. But otherwise, that's the only one I trust. But Maggie, she, like Maeve, she just wants to know who she's talking to. That's all she cares about. That's why she normally just stands there, because she's just trying to work out who or what she's talking to. And if she can, because that might be fun.
She dropped another little bombshell yesterday as well, with the fact that she can get you into the building that I had a lot of fun with you guys in, with the appointment needing and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that so much, because the frustrations on your faces were just brilliant. So yeah, Maggie is fun. There's a lot I can't say, unfortunately. What obviously we've had some very funny, silly. You've had some very funny and silly moments throughout the campaign so far. What are little bits that stick in everyone's head? I mean, instantly, and it's one of the first things I thought about this when I was replaying the session in my head, was Pebbles talking about the fact that she licks her own arsehole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
It literally nearly made me choke on a drink.
yes.
Yeah.
What are some of the
I just
moments that stick in you guys' heads?
I liked being able to just say it with chest as well, like, because it's so matter of fact for a cat. So it was, yeah. That's funny.
What are some of the bits
I
that
like
stick
that.
in you guys' heads that you've enjoyed, like, not that the group has had fun or chat has had fun or whatever? Little moments that stick in your minds of funny moments. Don't all jump at once at the
I
fun you're
think
having in this campaign.
so.
I'm trying to pick the good ones.
So
Yeah,
in
there's a lot.
second session, I think, or third session, but we were at the tavern, and I think you wanted some eggs, Martine, to take back to the ship's time, and I was like, this could be a chance to maybe Jeremiah just try to, because they both have scars. I was like, maybe this is something they can kind of talk about, bond over, and you shot that down fucking hard. I was like, this could be a really nice moment. They could bond. At that point, I think Jeremiah and Pebbles had a nice little rapport with each other. Especially since the lock picking, and then you just kind of like winked
Yeah.
with how good you were. But then you were like, nope. And Walker's like, okay.
I believe you said something along the lines, I don't need to make you feel awkward. I just wanted to ask about your thing.
Yeah.
And Pebbles straight away went, this whole conversation makes and just gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I think again, it's hard for me to do that. In that, I know that Jeremiah is trying to be nice and kind and caring in that, but it's just not how my character would react to it, and it's hard for me to push back against that. But I think it also makes for interesting interactions.
Because off the back of that as well, when the next morning you'd asked Maeve, did she want to go wash her makeup off before we left? And obviously she was upset and said about the interaction between you two and was like, do you remember when I left you alone? And then you went off for like Misha shouting you. I think it, like, Jeremiah having asked that question led to a nice moment there, because it gave me a reaction to say, rather than, you know, like backhanding it off, which Maeve kind of wouldn't have backhanded it off for no reason. So you having have done that, it gave me a good leeway of passing off your not answering you, basically. And it obviously got to see a good reaction from Pebbles of where she was like, "Are you shouting me, Misha?" and just walked off.
But the thing, I swear it was. I said, "Are you shouting me, Misha?" And he went, "No."
Nope.
Yeah, he did. He
No.
did. Yeah.
There's a couple
See-
of moments of Misha's accent that have absolutely destroyed me inside, which was just joshing you.
Yeah.
That was a particular highlight.
Just joshing.
Another one was, I can't remember what, you said something to him and he just went, "Yes, little kitty." It was like, what?
Yeah.
You
The
know, I
other
think
day when he
it's
said
nice and
naughty, the other day when he was about she's naughty. Oh my
Yes,
god,
yeah.
I laughed my head off at that.
Oh,
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's that. And what was it? I think it was in the first episode. He said, "I'll be back in 2 shakes" or something like that.
2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
2
Yeah.
shakes of a lamb's tail. I love it.
And then the other day when you said that, he asked you what kind of tail.
Yes. I said I'll be back in
2
5
shakes
shakes,
of
and he
what?
said, "What
Yeah.
of
5
what?"
shakes of what?
Yeah.
And I swear I just winked at him.
Yeah, in a really weird way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Really weird. It was a really strange wink.
Oh.
Fuck's sake.
Reese has put asking where the back door was.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a highlight of his.
Yeah, that was.
That
Yeah.
wasn't
Ollie
meant
has
to. That
said-
wasn't meant to be sexual.
It wasn't, but none of it ever is.
It's more funny when you just sort of say
Just
it and then you don't
accidentally.
realise,
Yeah.
and then everybody else just starts cracking up.
I think I realized after I said it, but there's no good way to ask where the secondary entrance to the property
Don't
is.
say it like that. That's even worse. It's even worse.
It's a very formal way of
It's
asking.
very full. It's like, yeah.
May I enter?
That's all Martin does.
All Martin does is wink, I'm assuming is what he means.
Yeah, I think that's just because Pebbles is like that. Pebbles is just cheeky. Or maybe it's just me.
I do like that with Pebbles when she did it, because she did it once and she did like the click with her tongue. She just kind of went, and that was brilliant.
Yeah. No, be weird. Oh, okay.
Oh, be weird. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just looking through
I
at
liked
some other
it
stuff.
when
Go on.
Azalea named her bird Trump.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Bring
When
it on.
she just came out with it. The
Where
first
did Trump
name.
It's a
was
shame.
Trump.
You should have made it an eagle and named it
Yeah.
Trump.
That would have been worse. No.
It was brilliant.
Where did Trump come from?
So I was trying to think of a name the whole time the hawk was out, and I was like, try and think of something nature, anything. It just didn't happen. The minute you told me that, like, the bird died, that's what came out. The fucker killed
It
Trump.
could be nature. It could be gas.
There are so many names or words you could have absolutely used, but for Trump to be your go-to was unique.
Maybe it's just the American accent I keep hearing. It was just making me think of America, so Trump came to mind.
That accent in the
Maybe.
first session freaking broke me. Just because I've never had to try so hard not to do an accent before.
You were so close to doing Darren Oz accent so many times. It was insane.
I think even a couple of words that you said were in
Definitely,
Darren Oz accent, because I
definitely.
remember looking at you and like thinking, "Oh, Darren Oz here."
I've gotten better, I think.
You haven't done it since.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you haven't. It was just that.
It was first session. Which made me very happy that I did a pre-call with Reese and he did the accent. Because if I'd have just heard that, I wouldn't have been able to speak to him. Because it's just... When you're not expecting it, it's such a good accent. He does so well with it. He maintains it as well, which is hard to do.
Yes, very hard to do.
That's why I decided not to do an accent, because I was originally going to do an accent for Maeve, but because I knew straight away that I wanted, like I said to Lou straight away, that she was going to be chaotic as hell. I knew that I wouldn't be able to maintain the accent for the quickness of the replies that I wanted Maeve to have. And I knew that it's kind of like it had stopped me having the quick like back and forth, because I'd have to kind of think how I'd have to do the accent with those words. So I was like, I'm not gonna. But yeah, originally I was going to.
It is tough to do, and props to anyone that
Yeah.
picks up accents as a player and does them. Like you in now other game, Ed, where you do Darrenals. Like it's not easy to do.
I can't.
Naturally, your reaction to something is to just speak in your own voice.
I think it was last session. I didn't realize I wasn't doing the accent for like the first 30 minutes.
I did.
I think it's because we were like in the middle of something. We weren't like going on our way to do something, because we just went straight into it. I just didn't have time to prepare myself.
It's hard to do. It is really hard to do. So yeah, props to it. And Reese is for anyone
Reese is
watching
killing
who isn't like someone in our little group. Like he's a newer D&D player, and I've heard him do like 4 different voices already. He just goes with it and runs with it. Absolutely smashing it. So good. There is something we do need to talk about, and that is dice rolls. Because
don't.
Ed.
No.
Ed.
There is a theme, especially with one of you, but with a lot of you.
I rolled well last session.
For how many rolls? I remember
Most. I hit 4, 5.
You did.
That's the thing. When I need my rolls in combat don't tend to be too bad. It's normally outside that they tend to be just god awful.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna at some point watch all of the sessions back and just get an average of how you roll, because you have to be below average. Just on the rolling, I don't mean on anything else.
Yeah. Thanks, Lewis. Tell me what you really think.
The rolls, like I've never experienced it.
Think like, I know my American and Canadian friend were kind of poking fun when on one of the sessions they watched, but like I typically don't roll that badly in my Friday game, or if I do, the modifier is so high that it doesn't actually matter. Like I've never been one to think I've had a dice curse. It's now in my head now, thanks to you. But I'm just trying. It was really bugging me, because it just I don't know. It was kind of ruining the fun for me, because I didn't feel like I could achieve anything I was trying to do. But I'm trying to lean more into it. So it bothers me less. Thanks, Ollie.
I think it sometimes helps the character thing as well. Like if you do roll certain things low, so like different campaign, but when I played Araya, obviously she could kind of talk her way out of anything, but she was clumsy as hell. Like she was always constantly falling over. And I think that just became a fun kind of trait of hers. But I think kind of when you lean into those roles that you have lower modifiers on, especially when you are getting lower rolls, it can also make for quite interesting like character personality traits that come out of it.
The one-off bad roll was to be expected, but like I don't know why, but I've been running consistently bad. Normally it's been quite average. I think I've just been very. It's normally around 8 or 10, and it's like it's like I'm getting constant nat ones.
No,
it's just that it's just constantly like you don't learn anything. It's nothing really. It's just very average.
Yeah, it's like when we've thrown around dice curse, but that's just because it's fun. But yeah, it's very average, I would say. Like watching back that first session, I think a good 50-60% of all of your rolls were a 10.
Yeah,
which is you can still gain information from a 10. Like a 10 is a medium difficulty.
It's funny because it was all different skills, so it was all different
Yeah, yeah.
dice rolls, but all the modifiers
Different
just kept
modifiers.
making it.
Yep. Yeah. It was pretty interesting. You guys are going to have to talk amongst yourselves for a minute because I need to pop off for a second. My camera will still be on. I just need to go do something.
What we do need to do as a group is try to think of a group name.
Yes,
I know.
Yeah.
we do.
That does
And then
keep coming up. We do
Find
need
a way
do
to
that.
naturally introduce it so that it makes sense for our characters to think of it.
I know.
I think we need one of the NPCs to call us it. And that'll just like kind of naturally introduce her.
Mm.
But like that had some great suggestions yesterday. Yes, we did see some of those. What was
We debated a few of them after.
yes, we
Maggie's
did.
minions.
Maggie's minions is
Maggie's
hilarious.
That one was good.
I think
Maggie's courier
we were
service.
we're kind of thinking about the marked ones, aren't we?
Yeah, the marked
Yeah,
ones I
that's
like
the
the
one.
sound
Oh,
of
yeah,
that,
that was a good one.
But are
We
we
like that
thinking
one.
like marked ONE or the actual symbol one?
I suppose it wouldn't really matter because it's more in,
Yeah.
in dialogue.
Yeah, I guess
isn't
our
it?
characters don't actually know. Well, because I mean, eventually
Yeah.
we'll have. Hopefully, we all can get T-shirts with it on and mugs.
Yeah, that'd be
Mugs.
cool.
Little mugs.
Yeah.
Next should be saying
Oh,
get a
hi
tattoo.
Sam! Thank you for watching, and thank you for everyone
Hey,
who's watching.
Sam. You could have a ring with a 1 in the middle.
What, like a signet ring?
That's
Imagine that level of merch where you're at signet ring level.
Jeremiah does actually have one.
Oh, a signet ring? Oh, he does, doesn't he?
It's
Yeah.
from his father. He's got it on a cord around his neck.
necklace. Yeah, yeah.
He
my
doesn't
cleaning
want to wear it like
Cleaning soundtrack.
I'll play some
Hey,
elevator
Sam.
music.
Sam, you missed the spot.
Sam, just there. You're missing it. Sam.
Try a bit harder. Come on. Put your back
Get
into
your
it.
head all out.
Flash. Ah.
You're my fixing
Fixing
the car
car
soundtrack.
soundtrack.
Get your spanners
Don't
out.
stop me.
Jim will fix it.
Oh God, don't.
Three.
She doesn't even know.
No.
We can't.
She doesn't, yeah.
We'll tell you after.
Yeah,
we'll tell you
later.
after.
Okay, I'm holding you to that then.
We'll tell you
I'm
later.
missing out on something.
That's so. Ollie will get it. Ollie will get it. She doesn't even know.
Yeah, Ollie will know.
Let's not
She doesn't
in the
even
chat.
know.
No, we'll tell you. We'll tell you later. We'll tell you later.
You know what? I'm making a note of this just so you guys don't forget to tell me.
That is a good plan with us lot. Yeah.
Your guys' reaction to that.
Still haven't got that
I know.
photo.
Lewis has said that it's on his to-do list.
Yes.
This must sound really bad to everybody that doesn't.
Yes.
No.
What else? Is there anything anyone wants to do in the city? Not like background stuff, but like we have been given a bit of a dossier on the city. Other places people want to visit? That was like mentioned in the information we were sent.
As characters or as players?
Players.
Yeah.
You can say about characters, but obviously we're trying not to be too meta.
Yeah, I'm going to say for characters, no.
No.
But for players, where were it that I wanted to go? I need to find it.
I need to have a look actually.
I don't know if this will be on your guys' list though, but there is a
When
there's
when you're
like
in the
an
world.
academy.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's in the world. So there's like an academy thing
Yes.
that when I've read about, I want to go to, but I don't know if it'll be in everyone's handbook. So I don't want to say the name of it.
the Mage
Yeah.
Academy. The Mage Academy.
It's in everyone's. It's in everyone's.
It is in everyone's.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Zolaxis
Yeah.
Academy. Like that sounds
Yeah.
really cool. So yeah, as a player, that's like somewhere I like want to go. But as a as Maeve as a character, there's not anywhere she wants to go yet. Things she wants to do, but
Yeah.
nowhere particular that she wants to go to.
There's 2 places I want to go, and that's just because me, Lewis, and Sheree, me and Sheree were helping Lewis with bits of the world building in the very beginning. And Lewis worked very hard to make sure there's no spoilers for us. But like, I really want to go to Doris's Lament and the Belt of Elabri because they were just so much fun to speak about. I really want to see what Lewis has made.
There's lots.
I
There's
think
so
it,
many places I want you guys to go to. So many.
It's on
There's
that,
so many fun
obviously,
places.
because his characters have got names in it. Obviously, I think like we're going to want to go
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
like our previous characters have got areas named after.
Mhm.
Because I think that's like a nice little like addition to it. And I know there were another couple of like
Because I mean, there's
names I can't remember on the
there's
map that I
Lake
was
Mort,
like, oh, I
there's Lake
know that
Mortimer,
name.
Mount Thessie.
Yeah,
Mount
Mm.
Thessie.
Free Lands of
Mount Thessie.
Araya.
There's Doris's Lament, which is Sheree's.
Yeah, Doris's Lament.
What's the Strix one?
Lake Mortimer.
There's the River Styx.
River Strix, which
Yeah,
I love
River
because
Styx.
it's almost like the River Styx.
There's River Styx.
What was
Yeah.
the Yannock one?
There's Lake Yannock,
Lake
which is
Yannock.
in the sort of northern. I
Yeah.
can picture
Yeah.
all of them where
Yeah,
they are.
up top.
above
In the
Mount Paul.
kingdom of Astravia, I think.
It is Australia, yeah.
Yeah.
Over that
I
way.
was right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. There's so many places that,
Agreed.
like Mount Port, for instance, is, as you guys know, is the capital. And there's so much that I've put into Mount Port that you guys going there would be incredible because it's such like it's a metropolis compared to anywhere else. It's huge and there's so much there.
It's on my list.
But there's so many places like the Belt of Elabri was mentioned by Grok, and he said that it was like there were some little party towns and places like that along there, and that I think that would be a lot of fun. There's such a variation in some of the districts and some of the regions that I think some of the characters would like and some of them completely dislike, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think Sam asked in chat, what do you guys think of your character development so far? Are they all turning out how you imagined them? We spoke about that just now actually, so you might have just missed it. So we were saying, like, I know for Pebbles, like, just a brief thing is that, you know, she's sort of was supposed to keep cards close to her chest a bit more, but with the Velvet Blade coming into full swing in like the first couple of sessions, you know, it's been hard to not tell the party things that I would have rather kept a secret. So yeah,
And
definitely throwing a spanner in the works.
yeah, same as you. I was meant to keep cards closer to the chest, but things happened. The interactions he was having with the party, the opportunity for it to be translated by Maeve. Like, yeah, things happen. Like, there's no every good plan gets ruined by circumstances. Like, and I'm happy for that to happen because it's like, just I don't know what you all are going to throw at me, what throw at Jeremiah. I don't know what Lewis is going to throw at us, and things are going to change. Like, there's parts of his backstory that he won't say because doesn't make him the greatest light. But like, if Lewis throws one of those things directly at us, he is going to say because he doesn't want to drag you all down into it. Like, yeah, no matter what I've planned, it's going to change based on what's happening. You just have to try to make sure how you're reacting just kind of makes sense for how you want to play your character.
Yeah. I didn't expect to have the physical change that I had quite so soon.
I did wonder that.
In fact, I even messaged Lewis about it on when it had happened, and like, I don't know if I should. And then I was like, playing it true to character, I would change, which is why I did. but yeah, it's ideally I wouldn't have wanted that to happen, but it's I didn't expect to get upset of leaving Zephyr's whimsies. But having only interacted with Zephyr a few times, I just fell in love with him. So I knew that she would be upset, which is why she did. But yeah, I didn't expect to change that quickly. So that was threw a spanner in the works, because obviously the characters didn't notice anything, but obviously as players, a couple of you then knew there was something, which then obviously, and then she got questioned about it. And then I think that change then meant that you understood the other hint that I'd worked
Yes.
in that you hadn't previously understood. And I think if I hadn't have had that physical change, you would still all be questioning all the weird things that Maeve does, rather than as players kind of starting to understand, well, some of you understanding why
I
she
think
does those.
I think I got the race. I think
Mm.
we had at one point it been mentioned, but it was her background that, like, oh, that's the route you're taking. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's nice because even though, like, you all mentioned stuff about like backstories to a certain degree that have come out, there is still so much that every one of you knows pretty much that completely hasn't come out whatsoever, and waiting to see those bits happen is quite exciting from a point of view from me, and obviously you guys don't know it about each other. Just to be watching you guys and holding, a couple of you said like expect you to keep your cards close to your chest, but there's still stuff that is nowhere near coming out of people. That's quite exciting, and I think there are some shocks and twists and turns that are going to happen everywhere that are quite interesting. Like it's one of them with me where I need to not think with how desperately I want to see these interactions happen, and just remember the pacing of the game.
Mhm.
Because if it was up to me and we weren't streaming it, we'd just go hell for leather and just chuck every shit and just go mad with it. But there's there's a lot of fun things to, not from my side of having the story starting to come to effect and the bits and pieces that are happening in the intrigue around the markings, fog, and everything else, but the little bits from all of your backstories that you're keeping is interesting.
Actually,
It's nice.
because Ollie's kind of reminded me, like, the whole Gemma's stance on what he is. Because originally he wasn't meant. I was going to have him kind of think of himself as human, well, mostly human, and then if it got brought up, like what Gemma Wentworth said, I was like, oh, maybe he'll react differently. But in the moment, I was like, actually, to be honest, I think he kind of has had. He doesn't accept it, but I think he has to have acknowledged the fact that he isn't human.
Yeah.
Most humans can't do what he does, so it's like I think he has to have acknowledged that he isn't. So that did change how I was going to play that.
It's interesting. It's like you said and alluded to a little bit ago. Is you don't know what situation's going to arise. So no matter how much planning you put into how I'm going to play this character, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to hold things back, until the situation arises, it's impossible to do them things. And it's one of them things that you always get in when you're looking at DM advice on YouTube or in books or articles, whatever, is to never plan like you. When you start DMing, you try and plan a whole session because you just want it to go that way. But you soon learn very quickly that there is absolutely no point because you don't know what's going to come up. And it's the same with players.
Like I've mentioned
A
this to you. Sorry.
question for you: does that change how you? So, like when you knew our characters and we were kind of building them with you, and we did those test runs, did knowing what our characters were kind of going to be like changed how you did anything?
Every session I change things. because of stuff that you guys do or stuff that you guys say. You would. I don't just completely freeball sessions. I don't just go in with no plan, no structure whatsoever. I have a general gist of where I would like things to go, but it's so hard to structure a session the way that people think, possibly even players might think that DMs structure sessions, because I might think you guys are going to go one way and plan for 300 different variations of what it could be, but you will completely go the opposite way. So yeah, like I will have a general guideline. At the start of this campaign, I had a general guideline of where I wanted things to roughly go. Then I had the one-to-ones with you guys, and that changed. And then we do session 1, and then the rest of everything else changes. Then we do session 2, and it all changes again. It's just a constant rehashing and reimagining of where things are going to go based on the last session. I have a general gist of things that are happening in the world that you guys won't be able to change based on your interactions and stuff. But the next thing that's going to happen, I don't know until you've done the thing that we're doing now. That changes constantly.
I wasn't sure if, like, knowing that certain ones of us, like me and Pebbles, were going to be more chaotic.
Oh, that completely changes stuff.
Made you,
Yeah, of course it
like,
does.
think I need to put contingencies in place for the chaos that they're going to bring.
Oh, no. If you bring chaos to yourself, then you bring chaos to yourself. Consequences have action. Actions have consequences. And I would never want to have characters die because of the consequences of that. But if combat arises from it and you get yourselves in trouble and things happen in that way, then I'm not putting anything in play. You guys can be as chaotic as you want, but there are things that will happen based on that. Mm-hmm. Hence, like Maggie locking you in the library.
She didn't lock us in, she just closed the door. It wasn't locked.
Okay, yeah. But that scene was like, I never planned.
Yeah.
Pebbles is going to nick a book, so I'm going to make Maggie turn a bit weird. It was right. Let's give them some consequences to that action. Yeah, anything you guys do changes everything that I'm going to do just constantly. Just Lewis with stacks of paperwork and notebooks to counterattack the chaotic fuckery you guys create. It's kind of building up to that point in my head. They've all got a little tally with marks against it, don't worry.
Is it like I just imagine you now with like an abacus where we've each got a colour and you just slide backwards and forwards. Go like up and down on your scale.
And Ollie, you're completely right with that comment. Like, luckily with and with groups you're in as well, and Sam, you. Luckily, we've got some great players in our little group and in this group. That I get the pleasure of just sitting and watching the chaos ensue. It's one of the fun things of being a DM that I get to have the pleasure of just sitting watching you lot be idiots. It's great. I laughed yesterday. I was nearly in tears with the whole arsehole comment. Like couldn't hold it together. So yeah, it's nice to be able to sit and watch. And it's hard to keep a poker face sometimes as well, because there's the famous thing of when the DM smiles, it's too late. And some of the stuff you guys do, I get a thought in my head, that's going to sort that situation right out. But then I need to hold that in because I've got something planned based on something you've done. And that's fun. It's like a game of chess almost, where you guys will make a move and then I will try and counter that with something else. And it's fun. It's a challenge. Especially with chaos, because it's always a challenge. I'm running out of things on my list, if I'm honest.
To be fair, we've been live for like an hour and 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
We've done quite well.
Any questions in the chat?
Do you guys have any questions for each other? Anything that's come up in your heads while we've been chatting?
How long has everyone been in the city, roughly?
How long's... Oh, right, yeah.
Because I know Jeremiah's been here 2-3 months, roughly. Does that sound about right to you, Lewis?
Yes.
And that's about the same for Pebbles.
It's about the same for Pebbles. I think it's
Same.
very similar for Araya, to be fair.
Araya.
2 days.
Sorry, Maeve.
Yes.
I've done this a few times. It just happens. Azalea, 2 days. Misha, a little bit longer.
And like, we don't have to say exactly where we are, because that'd be like, is everyone like far from their home, from the place they're actually from?
Let me
Yes.
just-
I was going to say yes. Yes, Maeve.
yes, Maeve. Maeve is yes.
Yeah. That's actually quite interesting, the fact that we're all actually quite far travel. That'd be quite good later down the line, because we could go visit the places we're from if we need to. Like, I mean, Jeremiah's freaking ages away.
2 days travel, I'd say, for me, probably.
I think mine's like
Yeah,
weeks.
it's everyone's a bit quite far, to be fair, which is interesting. It's one of the things I'm really looking forward to with a campaign like this, is because obviously Eldoria is a big place and there's loads more for you to see in Eldoria, but in general there are so many places that you could possibly end up and go to. And I don't want to rush you guys going there. I wouldn't want you guys to rush and start traveling places. There's loads to do left in Eldoria.
Yeah.
But when we do, and I think inevitably we will have some travel. When we do, it's exciting to see different places and get different vibes from the different villages or cities or towns that we end up visiting. DM, what was your favourite map place to create and why? Guys, who's your current favourite NPC and why? The only bit of that they covered is they don't trust any of the NPCs. None of them.
I trust Maggie.
I trust the general.
And that's where we're at.
No, Pat, Jeremiah's boss.
Yes.
I don't think he's done anything to make people untrustworthy of him.
He hasn't.
And
Zephyr.
Brucey.
I trust Zephyr.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
I was waiting for Pebbles to say that she trusts Brucey, but was then going to bring up the fact that the mist was in that area and you haven't gone to check on him.
It's fine. They're probably dead. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, they've probably been
I'm
taken.
going to be worrying for a week now. I'm going to be in a
Um,
constant state of
Session.
panic.
I need to go to work. I'm late.
I need to go see Brucey.
I love the fact that we all have jobs that we're kind of just ignoring. We need to
I
resolve that at some point.
I just don't give a shit.
Sam, to answer your question on my favourite place to create, the Capital Mountport is one of my favourite places because it's just huge. And there's so much there when the guys do. If they do go there, I think they will. So that's a lot of fun. There's a lot of weird and good places there. And then there's a place called the Belt of Alabri, which Grok touched on, which he mentioned that there's like good party towns and stuff like that. It's a completely different coastal vibe to the sort of city metropolises that we're at now, which is a lot of fun, I think.
All
That
I
sounds-
imagine when you say that is like a fantasy version of Iron Apple.
I was literally thinking the same. Ibiza.
Yeah,
Literally it.
it's exactly like Iron
It's literally
Apple.
Yeah, it's on the coast.
It's on the coast.
Yeah.
It's in the
there's good
south, so
tourism,
good weather, I imagine.
good
But
weather.
yeah, it's literally
It's
all I'm imagining
a
is like a
completely
fantasy
different vibe.
version of that.
The
It's
retirement.
literally it. It's literally it. There's even like an old town, so it's literally like any of those places.
Retirement village.
Do you guys have favorite NPCs? you don't trust any of them, and maybe the people that you are like close to from works is what
Oh,
I'm
and then
gathering.
Moira.
Yeah,
I love
Zephyr, that's it.
Moira.
Moira,
Zephyr.
I love that.
Zephyr,
Maggie.
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 I do.
love
I
Maggie.
love Maggie as a player.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As a character,
Yeah.
Yeah, characters wary.
yeah,
Yeah.
Maggie's my favourite NPC.
yeah, she's fun to interact with,
Yeah.
and watch and things. Yeah,
I also can't wait for Misha to trade his velvet suit for a bucket, a hat, and shorts.
yeah.
That sounds fun.
Pebble's just interested in bread, which I think that's a
Yeah.
running theme for your characters, Martin, because
That's
Steffi is also obsessed with bread and pastry.
I think that's just me. It's just part
Yeah.
of me
Yeah.
in my characters.
Do you have
Get
pastry in
out.
your pockets right now?
Not
Do you have
currently.
any
I wish
bread
I
around
did.
you?
I like how you're having to think about it. Like,
You have to think about it.
Looking around.
When was the last
double
time I
check.
put pastries in my pockets?
I had a Greg's croissant this morning, so
Oh, nice.
make with that what you will.
Just a constant thing that Martin's characters just have baked goods on them.
I'm waiting for Ollie to ask a random question, seeing as he said, "Is it wise knowing who's in the chat for us to
Well,
say?"
he just
any
asked if you know what
questions,
vol-au-vents are made of.
You remember what vol-au-vents are made of? Yeah, vol-au-vents are tiny little puff pastry cups almost, and you can put nice, delicious petite fillings in them and have them as small, tiny canapes.
She's
Bite-sized.
She's a baker now.
Yeah.
I
She's
did
not after what-
GCSE
Yeah.
cooking.
After what she had for tea yesterday, she's not anything
Yeah.
in the culinary
Far
industry.
from it.
Nothing at all.
There was bread on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
essentials.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
had my greens,
Uh-huh.
I had my bread, and I had my cheese.
Jeez.
Wickeners and their pies. Yeah, I do love pie. I mean, to be fair, we came up with pie on a barn, so that's
Which is
pastry and bread
ridiculous. Which is
together.
ridiculous.
And
So a pie
delicious.
sandwich.
Pie sandwich.
Yes, exactly.
Isn't a pie
Literally
already
pancake.
technically a sandwich? It's in pastry, like held
Oh.
together with pastry, is it not?
Well, yeah, but then you just put it in bread, and that's probably why I am the way that I am. It makes sense.
Pie on a bum explains your whole personality.
It's called a Wigan kebab.
It is.
Wow.
It is. It is.
It's dreadful.
Anyone excited about any level 3 abilities that are going to be coming out?
Have you guys picked your spells yet?
Yep. I have.
Stuff.
You know what I mean?
You
I
don't have to say
any.
what they are, but yeah,
Yeah.
if you've picked them.
I picked my spells and me meta magic bits.
Mhm.
I'm all decided. Got them all.
No.
What about you? Are you Ed?
I don't. I get another use of my blood curse, which is nice. So maybe I'll start using that a bit more.
Yeah.
I think I slightly regret the blood chest I chose because they have to make a strength save against my Hemocraft DC. I'm not. It's not very. It's not very high. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be.
Can you change that?
I can't change blood
Yeah,
curses, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I will use it at some point. It's just it's very specific to a situation, so I'm just trying to find a reason to
I
use
think
it.
if I remember from like when I played a Blood Hunter, it's about level 5, isn't it? Where you
I
get
get another one.
a lot of really cool kind of bits.
I can cause radiant. So my what's it called Crimson Right. I can imbue my weapon with my blood, and it gets different elemental modifiers. I chose the lightning one. I also can now choose one that causes radiant damage, which is quite nice. My blade will now light up. I get resistance to necrotic energy, and if I hit an undead creature with that specific right, it does an additional damage. That's kind of it for now. It's just I should have thought this through, but like as an Asimir, I already get light, so the light I get, I'm already resistant to necrotic damage, so I've got that. Probably should have thought this through. But it should be fun. I get some really cool abilities down the line. At some point, I get to walk through walls, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
It would have been cool to go Order of the Lycan. It was an option, Ollie.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But yeah, there was reasons why I did go this route rather than that one.
All will be revealed.
What about you, Shelley?
Say it again for me because I got lost through comments.
Any interesting level 3 abilities that you're looking forward to?
I got a few extra
Unveiling.
spells, but nothing.
You had level 2 spells,
Yep.
don't you? No.
No,
I think
No.
so. I got
Yeah, level
2.
3. Level 2, yeah.
I've got level
Level
3.
2 spells. Yeah. Yeah, you do, because we were looking at them yesterday and you were saying you need to pick it.
Yeah, I still need to pick a spell actually. I won't deny that.
That's fine.
Don't
You've
have a
got
chart.
a week.
You were debating between them, weren't you?
Yeah, I still am, so I thought I'd leave it a bit longer. Do this
fair.
first, and maybe
Yeah.
go back and have a look.
There's no rush.
You've got your meta magic now,
Second of all.
Emma.
I do, yeah, and I got some
Mm.
pretty cool spells with like the subclass that
Nice.
I am. I got some really handy spells as well as some kick-ass spells.
Just to add to that, I loved your use, how you described your distant whispers yesterday. I thought that was
Mm.
amazing. The way you kind of like screamed like
It was great.
Black Canary. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was such a good flavouring of it.
It was just because when it was like, oh, you like say some kind of words that do it, and I was like, that's boring. Like, if you're gonna do damage, like you're gonna be like
Mhm.
angry and screaming at them, aren't you? So yeah, I was like, yeah, do it that way.
I'm excited for next week. I just want to run it.
Well, we wanted to keep going, but
Yeah.
someone
Yeah,
said
you
no.
said no.
Someone said no.
Are we all
didn't have
free
an
tonight?
appointment.
No.
Impromptu session?
No. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've got to make sure I can speak in an Australian accent for a while because I've been
Cool.
practicing a week.
Yeah.
I have. But that'll be fun. A bit of Cujo action. He's interesting.
Yeah, it seems it. How he's just appeared.
Was he always going to appear in Gemma's bedroom?
No.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we had like stayed in the tavern area and Gemma had gone up to get the stuff and brought it back down, would he not have appeared in the bedroom?
Don't know.
I think I was like, is that just a blocker from me trying to read that stuff for you? I was wondering, like, if it
No.
was.
All that journal stuff is all on my computer.
Okay.
And the letter, there's so much. And like, I already had lots of like clues I built in, and then Lewis threw me like a good 5 or 4 more from the one-to-one we had before session started. So I've got so many clues on his little murder board, trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
I'm gonna have to shut my blind because I'm starting to go blind. One sec.
I do have a OneNote page dedicated just to clues and the investigation of Jeremiah.
Darren are all over again with his images on wall and his red strings leading front pins. Detective Jeremiah.
It's weird because I didn't like plan to make him that way, but I somehow didn't have the character of the highest intelligence in the party, which was never something I was intending to do. It's just so weird because he hasn't got a high intelligence. I think he's only on 14.
Nothing was worse than Clovis's intelligence.
I know. It sounds like a 6, wasn't it?
Clovis's was 6.
Wow. Isn't that like only just where you can just talk?
No,
What's the intelligence one where it's like
One.
you actually can't talk?
it's not above 1.
Pretty sure, like,
I thought it
like
was- I
zero
thought it was
intelligence, you
higher than
die,
that.
don't you?
Sorry.
No. I mean, even an intelligence of like 2 or 3, you can speak. It's still on basic ideas.
What's a commoner out?
But yeah,
Commoners all have like just like a bog standard.
just bog standard.
It's
across
like
the board, pretty
everything's
much.
really low, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make a linked map for this. Yeah.
Martine, you wanted to talk about subscriptions stuff.
Yeah, so basically I wanted to put it to the chat about what kind of subscription perks they want to see. So we've got currently anybody who subscribes is invited to a private Discord server where we have, more casual in-depth chats, and you also can get sneak peek to sort of things we're working on behind the scenes. And yeah, and obviously you've got your emotes and animated emotes, which you get unique ones with each tier of subscription. But just sort of what kind of things would you see? What would be, an incentive for people to, subscribe, and what kind of different tiers people want to see in terms of subscriptions? Yes, just so that we can mould it to what the viewers want.
Yeah, stuff we can give back for the
Mm-hmm.
the things
Support.
people are doing for us. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. TOT karaoke sessions for tier 3. Is that what we're going for?
Without the thing to us.
Imagine. Name an NPC. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
that was an idea
Yeah.
for channel points. I don't know how we'd necessarily work it with subscriptions because it's on a monthly basis.
Mhm.
So I think it'd be imagine if it like loads of tier 3 subs and like each month
Bang, bang, bang,
it's like
bang,
the
bang.
same. There's the same same thing coming up. A TOT mug. But yeah, if anybody comes up with any ideas and whatnot, then just throw my way. You can message us on our socials. Half of you can just message us directly anyway. So
There's like possibilities of, I don't know, a separate server, a separate channels in the Discord further down the line if we have tier 2s and tier 3s.
Were we saying like
yeah.
certain emote first?
Well, that's what we've got. We've got emotes.
We've got emotes
set up.
already.
I still need to fill out a few spots, but we've got some there.
Name a business. Name a magical shop. Choose what accent Lewis does for the next NPC.
That's a
Absolutely
good one.
Not a chance.
That's a good one.
Signed maps of the city.
And- yeah.
I'd love a map of the city.
Mm.
Name a leaf on Azalea's outfit.
Like signing a cast.
Ooh, signed leaves.
Yeah, I think the only issue with like physical things is people may expect it every month.
Yeah.
Like with
It's just not
each
gonna work.
subscription per month.
Yeah.
So it's hard to
It would have to be all sort of digital stuff.
We might do giveaways at some point, like way down the line. If we reach like a certain
Yeah,
when
it
we
can be
get to a certain bit,
sub-based.
and there'll be merch and stuff. eventually.
Yeah.
We
Giveaways
hope.
for subs only and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows, further down the line when we have like people that don't just play in our games chatting and subscribing. Possibilities of like one shots.
Yeah.
With me DMing or
Yeah.
stuff like that for like higher tiers. Because I mean, we don't expect anyone to pay their money on us, to spend their money on us at all. It's free content at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we appreciate it, and we do put in some work behind the scenes to get stuff. So giving stuff back for people support
Yeah.
is something we absolutely want to do.
But yeah.
Yes. Yeah, any ideas, just shoot us a message. Ollie, you're already in the subs thingy. Anyway, so if you have any ideas, you can just chuck us messages of little things we can do.
Oh, you're a sub now as well, so.
You're a sub and a mod, and
Which reminds me, I need to change your thingy.
and you get the first little badge next to your name because you're one of our founder subscribers. So that's a special emote for you.
I was wondering, can you do like custom badges or names on?
We've got custom badges for mods, for tiers.
Because I was just wondering if we want to do like player specific ones for us if we ever comment in the chat. Or one for you as the DM.
I don't think we can do that.
You already have like, you know, if Tales of the 20-sided thingies, comments and.
Because it's like if one of us wasn't here, but we could still join the chat to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can assign different badges and stuff
Yeah,
to
I
different
don't
people.
Yeah.
So
The only badges you get
like a mod, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
mod badges, and people subscribing now will get that first thing because they're our first subscribers.
Sure.
Ollie's got the Prime one because I'm assuming he's put his Prime on someone.
Wish I
And
could do that.
if I type as top 20, then we have
Broadcaster.
the little tater tot next to it,
Oh.
which is the sub badge.
Love it.
Yeah, it's the K3 one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I love it, man. It's just
So
a
cute.
cute little tater tot.
And they change like based on how long you've been subscribed.
Do you have a map of the city?
I've got a map of all the places that I've built.
Oh, I so want to see a map of Eldoria.
You'll have to get hold of a map of Eldoria then.
Oh,
Damn it.
let's go to the map shop, everyone.
I thought that was a sponge. No!
No!
Why do you have to say
It's a
that?
tater tot.
Don't kill Martine's artwork.
I didn't like make it, but like it's I thought it looked like a chicken nugget, but when I typed in
doesn't.
tater tot, it's a potato.
I love it. They're great.
Sam, you're
It's
fine.
a potato.
Sam, you're fine. It's
I added the pug dance though. I had to have that. I'm pretty sure Daisy's an emote on there as well. Maybe.
Surprise me.
That's
Ollie,
what we
it's
could
not
have
a
as a
chicken
reward.
It's not a chicken nugget.
That's something we could have as a reward. We could have a Daisy cam, and subscribers can press to see Daisy on the Daisy cam.
Oh my god, if only.
We do need
I
a
don't think
Daisy
you can
cam.
set that up,
I
but
don't think you can. No.
Boo.
but it'd be good though. It'd be
Ollie,
good.
it's not a chicken nugget. It's a tater tot.
It's a potato. It's not a sponge. I'm gonna.
Oh.
Yeah, I added that one. The Everything is Fine one because it reminded me of Maeve with the. So I thought, oh, if she ever speaks about arson again, they can use that.
That's still one of her professional goals now. Now she knows it's an actual profession.
Yeah.
My favourite's this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought of like scenarios like there's one of a woman winking I thought that'd be good in those innuendo moments.
Or for just
I
for
suppose no
Pebbles.
one.
Or just for Pebbles.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was interesting. I'm surprised no one used it when Misha asked five shakes of what when I was about to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this one with the tater tot sponge.
I fucking love that one.
Me too.
If you know, you know.
Yep. If you know, you know.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Should we maybe we could do this every 5 episodes?
We could look at doing something. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, I was just checking if
You're fine.
Left Right Game Part 2 had come out yet, and it hasn't.
Has it not?
It just came in. Yeah, it hasn't. No.
Ah.
Damn it.
The tater tot sponge after a few glasses of wine dancing away. Yes, it is.
Not a sponge. It's a potato.
Because Ollie's got the mod badge, we don't even see the tater tots on anyone's names apart from when we're typing. Because Alex hasn't been with us yet since.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
Need to see more of the tots in chat. That'll be fun.
That's quite cute how like Ollie gets his own first.
I think
Badge.
Alex will have that as well.
I wish I could have.
Ooh.
Because I
Maybe it's like
can't
first
subscribe. I have to get my dad to do it.
two.
Oh, my dad's watching.
Hi, Dad.
Speaking of level. I love that.
He's been watching all of it. He's been
It's nice. It's nice to have people taking an interest.
That's cute. Might have to get me mum and dad on game.
Get him in.
We're gonna have a parents
Yeah,
channel
they
in
all-
the Discord.
I know. Parents' evening.
Parents' evening.
The DM said I've been a really good player. This is Mr. Lewis.
Oh.
The YouTube is still doing really well.
That's brilliant.
I really can't figure
Yeah.
out if it is or not. Pebbles has been a nuisance all year, yes.
Grass.
Yeah, snitches get stitches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Pebble.
Probably the one doing the stitches.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna replay it and make sure these are still working. So it's still coming up, Ed. Have you got OBS up?
Oh. Nope, sorry. Oh, I don't have a. I'm sorry. I don't have a follow-up thing on this. Because I just.
No, you won't. Yeah, no, you're fine.
Wait,
I
wait, if I
completely forgot we're
do.
on. No, don't worry about it.
If I
Don't
do
worry about it.
studio mode, I can fix that, I think.
Don't worry about it. We've had
Okay.
no one follow anyway. It's all good.
Bloody adverts couldn't hear what you were saying.
I mean, technically that gives us money, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank
Thank you
you.
for the 6p.
We didn't say much anyway.
No.
Except for
no.
snitches get stitches, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
you already knew that.
we were
didn't
just
you?
threatening our moderator.
Pebbles steals drugs. Pebbles got sticky fingers. Sticky paws.
Pebbles steals jokes. Is he still going on about that he mentioned something about
The paws or something.
Paws,
Not
yeah.
having fingers.
Mm.
Yeah, he's still going
Yeah.
on about that. He's holding
Fuck-
me to it.
Foggy with a chance of death is 537 views.
Crazy.
Episode 3 is nearly 700.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you for everyone who's been watching us on YouTube.
I don't know who's been watching us on YouTube.
My dad.
Is your dad watching every episode 600 times?
All on repeat.
Just
If he is, thank you. Ollie, get over it. It's Martine's joke now.
Oh, so
There's no proof you ever used it, whereas Martine is doing it.
Yes.
thank
So
you.
therefore,
thank
she
you.
had the joke.
We're all here as her witnesses.
Yep.
Oh, bloody hell.
I don't know if you guys want to carry on streaming or jump off or.
I mean, it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good justice.
Yeah, we can call it a day if you want.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Cool.
Nice one.
Well, thanks for watching, guys.
Yes.
Pleasure as always to be talking to you and hanging out with you. This will, in some way, shape, or form, be on YouTube. I don't know what parts of it. Some will, some won't. And yesterday's episode will be on YouTube on Friday. And
It's near episode title.
We did. I think Ollie named it for us yesterday.
Get back to fitting new brakes.
Good luck fixing your car.
Yes.
Sam, good luck cleaning. Ed's dad, just good luck in life. In a nice way. Just all the best.
Inflection made it cute.
And we'll see you all next Saturday
Yes.
for episode 6. I love your dad already. I absolutely love him. He's one of the tops, and that's great. Right. We'll see you next week, guys.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Waving.
Waving.
Waving.